Hey there, I'm Ileana Capellan, and welcome to I See Connections. I'm a TV news reporter and lifestyle host looking to continue making connections with people in everyday life. This is my way of continuing to make connections with people in meaningful ways and tell meaningful stories that resonate. This is a space for real conversations about what connects us all as human beings. Every episode, I sit down with someone new to explore the universal experiences, emotions, and stories that show we're all more alike than we are different. So whether it's love, struggle, creativity, culture, purpose, or fun, we're digging deep to see what makes us human. Let's get connected.
This is the best.
Simply the best.
Something like that. Ileana Capellan. That's me, and I'm your host. In 3, 2. All right, guys, so today I am joined by an actress, a philanthropist, a producer, a writer, an activist. She's one of Hallmark's leading ladies. She's a caring board member of the Children's Hospital of LA, and she's on the board of the Mind What Matters nonprofit. She's a mom, wife, jewelry designer, and possibly the most iconic title that you can hold in Hollywood, a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse musketeer. Please welcome Nikki. Nikki DeLoach, how are you?
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited.
I am good. It's raining outside, which I love.
Oh, you like this weather?
I love the rain. It's so good. So it's great.
Doesn't
it's not great for my hair, but you know.
We can all relate to that, of course. Okay, so if I were to meet you out in the wild, out and about, what is the one thing that you think you could tell me about yourself that would make me connect to you instantly?
Oh, well, first of all, I wouldn't look like this.
Okay.
Like, for example, when I go drop my kids off for school every morning and I go to chapel with them at school, which is so nice. And anytime I've shown up at school and I've got my hair and makeup together and I'm actually in clothes, all the parents are like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Where are you going? Because usually like in the wild, I'm lucky if I've washed my face by 2 p.m. I probably have not brushed my hair.
Yep.
I am definitely in some kind of like sweats situation. And I think the first thing to connect with, I love connecting with people.
Yes.
It's
the best part.
I like locking eyes, saying hi, strangers. It doesn't matter. I always say when I'm in New York, even though I spend a lot of time in New York, you can tell I'm not like a New Yorker because I'm walking around going, hey, how are you? What you doing? What's up? Like I'm talking.
Let's have a conversation, and they're like, go.
Yes. I think just literally locking eyes and hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? If I ask you how you are, you know, I want to know how you are.
Very interesting.
Really want to know. I'm not looking for the I'm great, just moving right along.
Right.
And then especially if you bring up any kind of human issue, oh, well then let's get some popcorn or a cup of coffee and settle in. I'll be there with you. I'll forget the rest of my day.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
And just be there for hours with you.
I am the same way, almost to a fault, because then it's like, I've forgotten that I have plans the rest of my day because I'm invested in this story. I want to know. I care about people. So I'm like, if they care enough to be vulnerable with me and share their story with me, well, then I need to respect that and give them that space and hear them out. That's
the best.
Yes.
It is really the best. I think that we have such a lack of that in the world because we are busy, and that is a real thing. Everybody's busy. If you are working, you have kids today, oh my gosh, like there's not a lot of time, but I think what we miss out on is pausing to connect with somebody and actually connect with them. I even try to do that on campus, you know, with my kids and all the parents that are there.
Yes.
How are you doing? And then, you know, they'll say, oh, well, they're talking about a parent that has Alzheimer's or this or that. And just that moment of, I'm so sorry you're going through that. What can I do? How can I support you? We need as much of that as possible.
So much more of that
always,
in the world.
but especially right now.
Yes. You know, it's interesting because I grew up in Southern California, but I went to school in Tennessee.
Where in Tennessee?
Clarksville, Tennessee, at Austin Peay State
Nice.
University. And then my first job in journalism was in Dothan, Alabama.
Oh.
So, yes. So that Southern hospitality, really getting to know, like, people at the grocery store or at the restaurant where there's really genuine conversations, and then you connect with people.
I'm from South Georgia.
Okay, so you get it.
Like,
There's a connection right there.
Yeah, I'm from South Georgia, and it's true. It's, I always say, like, there's pros and cons to anywhere you live, whether it's LA or the Deep South.
Yes.
We all have our strengths. We have our things that we need to work on. But the one thing I will say that I really took with me from growing up in the South is just not being afraid to talk to anybody, and that hospitality of really trying to connect and be a neighbor.
Right.
I grew up in a town where when I grew up, it had one traffic light. And so it was real small, and it's still tiny.
Yes.
And everybody knows everyone. I was raised by an entire community of people.
Love that.
Taken to my dance classes by whomever would take me, or, driven home from school from Joey Carter, who worked at the high school, and my mom would just leave me because I wouldn't be at the car, and he'd go, get in the car, let's go, And so for me, living in California, that was a really important thing when I had children, of like building a community, making sure that the school that they go to is a community, because I want my children to be loved by a lot of people and for them to learn how to love a lot of people.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so I feel like I got that as a kid growing up in a small town where everybody knew where I was.
At all times.
And they would be telling my mom and daddy if I wasn't doing the right thing. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You better tell me.
Yes.
If you see my kid doing something crazy, you better tell me.
Absolutely. There's something so beautiful about that, which I think a lot of people don't realize until you become parents yourself, where you're like, that village, like, you really do need it, because, oh my goodness, it's so important. I mean, and just the simplicity of that as well, right? Because as you were saying, like, we are living in a day and age where people are busy. That's just the way it is. Like, we are constantly working, whether we want to or not, because we're constantly available with our phones, emails, laptops. Like, we're just constantly accessible. But there's moments, like a few weeks ago, my phone was broken. Couldn't get texts, couldn't get calls. My phone screen was white. I left my phone at home, and I would go and pick up my son.
What did that feel like?
It was so liberating. But it was also such an amazing feeling, because I was like, okay, we go to the park every day after school. Like, that's just our routine. But to be so present in the moment with him, and then be able to be present with other parents, and just talking to people, like you said, like the community at school, it's so important to us. And we love where we take him to school, like, so thankful for it. But everybody from the teachers to the head of school to the other parents and the kids, the fact that you're able to build that community to the point where, like, now we're like, oh, that's Auntie Nevra or Auntie Elisa. And, like, we just met them. Our son's 2.5. Like, we haven't known them our entire lives, but that connection is instant.
It's so important.
And like you were saying, to be able to then connect on even deeper levels, emotional levels, things like what you are so heavily involved with, whether it be the Children's Hospital or the Alzheimer's nonprofit, that is so amazing, because you are able to also provide people with help or resources or just an understanding, empathetic ear.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think thank you for bringing it up, because I always say, like, I have the best job ever. I love acting.
Yes.
I love producing. I love writing. I just finished a directing program. Can't wait to step behind the camera as a director. I have loved this job since I was a child. It's the only job I've ever wanted since I was 3-4 years old. The fact that I'm getting to decades later, over 3 decades later, pay my bills doing the thing I wanted to do as a kid is honestly a miracle. And I love it even more today than I did even as a child. But that's my job, my purpose, and what, the thing that, like, I will be doing until I take my last breath in this world is the work that I get to do, with Children's Hospital Los Angeles, Mind What Matters nonprofit for caregivers, and then with the Alzheimer's Association for research for Alzheimer's and dementia. And I think the point of your pain is also the point of your purpose. And I just believe, there was a rabbi, Stephen Leader. He's in Los Angeles. He's incredible. He's written some really beautiful books. And he said that if you're something to the extent, it's not word perfect, but if you're going to walk through the valley, if you're going to go through hell, you better not come out empty-handed. And that really hit me when he said that. It's true. We cannot often control the hard, gut-wrenching, and often, even loss. I've lost my dad really young to a very rare and aggressive form of dementia. We cannot control some of these things. I cannot control that my baby was born with multiple congenital heart defects. What I can control is what I come out the other side with that, and how I've given it purpose and I've given it meaning, and how can I give back, and what were the points inside of that where I felt like I needed support, where I needed help. How can I give that to other people?
Yes.
And, each one of these organizations, Alzheimer's Association, obviously we need to figure out how to help people with Alzheimer's and dementia. We still don't have a cure, but we've learned so much about the illness, especially in the last 15 years, because we finally began to put money into research and innovation. There are some medications that are helping to slow it down. We have a marker system, a pointer system, actually, that the Alzheimer's Association has come up with, that you can point to these pointer systems, and these are things that you can do, because what we've learned is it's less about genetics and more about lifestyle.
Interesting.
Yes. And so let's really look at how we're living our lives and protecting our heart health, our brain health, taking care of our bodies, which in a capitalistic society, it's not prioritized often.
Or if it is, it's for glamour and not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we really have to take agency. And I always say the source of real liberation for men, women, for anyone is you have to liberate yourself from that, yes, we live in a capitalistic society, but you don't have to work to your fingers to the bone. Right? We can make choices to take care of ourselves inside of that. And then with Mind What Matters, the nonprofit, what I really saw is just this absolute hole for caregivers. Yeah. My dear friend Elizabeth Humphreys, she launched this organization. We literally put money into the pockets of caregivers. So you can write us, and we give financial grants to loved ones who are caregivers of loved ones with neurodegenerative illnesses. And so, bring somebody in so you can go see a doctor. Right. So you can go get your hair done. There was a woman, and she had alopecia, but she wanted to compete in this beauty contest, and it was a dream of hers. Yeah. And she got time to be able to go and compete, and oh my gosh, she was just so beautiful, and just seeing her light up. Yeah. After years and years of being a caregiver for, that stuff, it makes a difference. And then also what we do with Mind What Matters, we have a podcast. We bring in experts. We educate. We're having women's summits all over the country for women to really be able to take agency over their health. And then obviously the work for Children's Hospital Los Angeles. I just think there's no better cause than saving the life of a child. We service the LA area. We see, just under 1 million kids a year at that hospital, but we also service all 50 states and 90 countries. Wow. We are the 5th top specialty hospital in the world. And so, when we talk about Children's Hospital Los Angeles, a lot of these really important children's hospitals, they're the ones that are leading in pediatric oncology and liver transplants, the heart institutes, research, innovation, to help to give our kids a better chance at building a healthier future, saving their lives. There's nothing more important than that.
No, and these are both organizations that are very near and dear to your heart. We were kind of already, you were touching on it, but your dad with dementia and your son. So tell me a little bit more about your journey. I'm assuming with your dad, you went through that first, or did you go through?
No, in the same week.
Oh my goodness.
In the spring of 2017. You know how you say before Christ, after Christ, there's BC and AC? Well, this was the week that marked my life. In the same week that I was pregnant with my second son, and I found out that he had multiple congenital heart defects. Without immediate intervention, he would not survive. I found out that my dad was diagnosed with Pick's disease, which is a rare and aggressive form of dementia. And so in that 1 week, I knew my dad was not going to survive. The question was, how long would we have? And then I also knew there was a high chance that my kid would not survive that first heart surgery. It was a very, very serious surgery, very hard surgery. And, we met with several surgeons, but it wasn't until I stepped through the doors at Children's Hospital Los Angeles and met with world-renowned pediatric heart surgeon, Dr. Von Starnes, that for the first time I had hope.
Wow.
And for a mother with a kid in a life and death health crisis, whether it is cancer, whether it's neurology, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's your heart, to be able to sit across from a doctor and have a doctor say, listen, I know you've met with other people and I know you're feeling really hopeless right now. I know how to fix your child's heart. And not only did he fix it normally, because it was 4 major heart defects that he had, normally a surgery like that would take 2 surgeries, which is much riskier for the kid. They have to go through back-to-back open hearts. He figured out with Bennett for the first time how to fix all 4 heart defects in 1 surgery, and then published that information so that other medical institutes would know what to do when they came across a heart that looked like Bennett's.
Wow. So at 5 days old, Bennett is making history.
He's making history at 5 days old because of that, the amazing doctors and surgeons at Children's Hospital Los Angeles,
Were you already living in LA at that time?
Absolutely.
Okay,
so I've been living here for a long time. And in fact, actually in 2021, we had talked about potentially even, because everything went remote.
Yes. Should
we just move out of the city? And I just looked at my husband and I was like, I will never leave that hospital.
No.
I can't.
When you find something that works, you just stick with it, especially when it comes to your children.
Yes. And, one day Bennett will be older and, he'll move on to adult care. And I will still be working at Children's Hospital.
You can't get rid of me that easily.
No, because I just, I just think that there's nothing more important than their mission.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, there's nothing more beautiful than being able to save a child.
That's right.
Like, there's nothing, what can compete with that?
That's right.
Absolutely not. So you're going through this journey, you are pregnant. Were you also worried about your own well-being at this point? Like, how did you manage your emotions? Or did you just kind of go into fight or flight, like, I have to deal with this, prioritize, and go?
Well, I think that's why I can speak to what caregivers go through.
Yeah.
And why, again, it's so hard to speak on something if you haven't gone through it. And I've experienced it firsthand of what it did to me as a caregiver on a daily basis. And, I can think of images of like me being on my bathroom floor, literally in a puddle of tears,
sobbing.
have not slept for months and months at a time, and the hypervigilance of just keeping your child alive, because we went through 3 heart surgeries in 2 years, but then COVID happened right on the heels of that. And so then it was like, once we were in a place where they were like, the heart is finally looking really good, you can go out into the world.
No.
Then that happened.
And he's high risk and you can't,
Yeah, so it was not 2 years, it was 5 years of just such hypervigilance.
Yeah.
And I, it almost killed me, really. And what I know now, going through, thank God for therapy, my therapist, I went through some really intense and necessary trauma therapy in 2023 that changed my life, because I was at a place where, for my job, I'm required to leave town and go film. And here I was having absolute PTSD, nervous breakdowns, being away from my child because I was the one that had been his sole person.
Yeah.
I had caught things. I had saved his life. I knew every inch of his body, inside, outside. And the thought of being away from him and somebody not catching what I would catch,
it's terrifying.
It was just terrifying. And that therapy, it saved me, changed my brain chemistry, and allowed me to be able to let Bennett be a child.
That's what I was going to ask. How do you then give him a childhood?
That's right. It's so hard because, now he plays soccer and he does all the things. But what I realized, it was a moment where I was, he was 5 and I was putting on his pajamas and brushing his teeth. And I was like, wait a second. And I was seeing this child that was born with such fire energy and fight energy. I mean, I've never looked into the eyes of a newborn baby. And I mean, he was like, I've got this. I know my assignment.
Yeah, I have a reason for being here.
Exactly. And it was so clear. And here I was taking that fire and fight away from him every day by hovering over him.
You thought you were protecting him.
I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do as a mother. And really what I needed to be doing was figuring out a way to let him be a child. And that was my work that I had to do. And sure enough, once I started figuring it out, it took him like 2 days to rebound. And now I've like shot myself in the foot because like walking to chapel in the mornings, I like go to hold his hand and he's like, Mom, I'm a big boy.
No.
And I'm like,
But you're still my baby.
Yeah, but I want him to be like that. That kid has another heart surgery ahead of him.
Yeah.
That kid has to have agency over his body. His heart, he's going to have to take care of himself the rest of his life. I need him to have that fight in him.
Yeah, he needs to have fight.
And I think like it is mostly with parenting and children. I don't know if you realize this too. The problem is usually ours.
It is. It's always us.
It's usually us.
Yep.
And, they're just being kids and they're just figuring it out. And we're the ones that are the adults and we actually need to go and figure it out so that we can be the kind of parents that they need us to be.
We have to unlearn things that we've learned.
Totally.
Or take a breath and just be like, you know what? Patience, because they're getting to experience this all for the first time as well. And this is their childhood. This is the core memories that they're going to look back on and be like, it was so much fun. Like my mom used to walk me to seminary every day or to chapel and blah, blah, blah. So these are moments that are important to them in their life. And as a caregiver, I mean, I know I saw it with my mom, with my grandmother. Like she had Alzheimer's as well, and
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, but you don't realize it until you're in those moments, like you said. And even now that we lost her in 2023, but even now I'm still learning about these services that are out there for caregivers and for families that I so badly wish that I could have given my mom that gift back then when my grandma was still here.
I know. I do know, and I think that's why I'm so vocal about it. I have a real passion for people getting the support that they need because I know what I went through.
Yeah.
And I was just drowning.
And you can't pour from an empty cup.
And I so desperately need it. But like I was in such a state of, Brene Brown talks about that. Like we all throw around the word overwhelm. Mm-hmm. But like actual overwhelm is when you are so overwhelmed that you cannot even begin to say what you need.
Yeah. There was phone calls where I know I would just say hello and I could hear my mom's voice like just break. And I'm like, it's okay. What can you say? It's not okay. But like, I want you to be okay because she needs you to be okay. And
we need you to be okay.
Yes.
And you need you to be okay because this is also your one precious life.
Yes.
And so I really care a lot about people being able to, we have to show up for each other. And sometimes that puts us in a caregiving situation. Mm-hmm. And also we really have to learn how to do it while also taking care of ourselves. And then if we're in that moment where we just cannot, we need to be able to reach out and say, hey, mind what matters, or hey, community, or hey, I need help. I don't know what I need. I just need somebody to show up, and then let the helpers show up and go, okay, what we're seeing is you need dinner. Can we do a meal train for you? Wow. Or what we're seeing is that you need a day to go to the doctor. I'll come and sit with your mom for today. Mm-hmm. What we're seeing is like, that's what I needed. I just needed people to show up and just look around and see that I was a shell of a human.
Right.
And then just start plugging themselves in.
Yeah. Yes. Because when you're in that, you can't think of those things.
No.
And then there's also a guilt of like, why am I even thinking that I need this? how could I sit there and say that I want to get my hair done, or my back is hurting and I should have gotten a massage?
Yeah.
Because
Or work out.
Or go work out. Yes. Yeah, that's been something that my mom, I noticed she threw herself into after the passing of my grandma, was she finally had time to. That's a very simple way to take care of yourself.
Yes.
An hour or two in the morning or whatever it might be.
Take a walk.
Take a walk, because you can't. You can't when you're a full-time caregiver.
No, you cannot. You cannot leave them, especially when they have Alzheimer's and dementia and they're in those stages where they are a danger to themselves.
Right.
It is around the clock. And then also, the nursing homes and places where mind care facilities, it's so expensive.
It is.
And so it has prohibited such a large portion of our population, especially our communities of color.
Yeah.
So for Mind What Matters, we really try to focus on communities of color because they really, that access to support is really needed.
Absolutely.
And so, we try to make that a high priority.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that this is where your life would
Nope.
end up?
No.
I'm like, it's such a turn, right? Because it's so interesting because you have so much passion and joy and love, and like you can just feel it radiating off of you. But that's a lot of hard stuff to go through. And then the juxtaposition of
Hallmark?
Hallmark star, and before that even Disney, like what?
Yeah, I mean, I think my career has been very different. But I will say, I always say, I think the reason I understand the brand and I've understood the brand of Hallmark so acutely from the jump, is because I am that audience.
Yeah.
I am that caregiver.
Yeah.
I have lost my dad. I have gone through a life and death crisis with my child. I have gone through postpartum anxiety with suicidal ideations after my first child. I have gone through I have experienced sexual abuse as a child. There's a lot that I have gone through, and our audience comes to us carrying so much hard.
Yes.
We are their escape. We are their joy. We are their source of comfort and peace in a moment when they desperately need it, especially at the holidays.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah.
And I've always understood that. And so I think it's what, growing up, like, of course I wanted, I'd stand in my bathroom with my hairbrush and pretend that I was winning my Emmy or my Oscar. And then I got a little older and was like, oh my gosh, if I can just pay my bills in this industry, I've won the Emmy already.
Amen to that. Yes.
But then making these movies and hearing the stories and what they do for people and how they get them through their hardest of the hard, that's why I got into the business in the first place.
Yeah.
That is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make people feel the way that movies and television and art made me feel when I was a child, going through my own hard and going, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And seeking inspiration and joy and all of this from content that I would see. And so it's an honor to be in people's televisions all the time. This is my 10th year of Countdown to Christmas.
Oh my gosh, and what, over 20 starring roles as our Hallmark
So
leading
this
lady?
is my 10 years of doing that, and it's really an honor to be able to be in people's homes and for them to think of you as their extended family.
Absolutely.
And to be a part of their lives in that way.
And they feel comfortable with you. It's so funny that you say that, because that was one of the reasons that I went into journalism, was that human connection. And I didn't realize it until I was in the nitty-gritty of it, because people are like, news? Like, you're constantly reporting bad news all the time. And you're like, yes. That was my job. Yes, because I'm with people either on the happiest day of their life or the hardest day of their life. But one thing that I realized was telling one person's story, one person on the camera, but there's so many people watching that, and now they feel seen and heard and understood, which is, I think, my biggest, that is my calling here. Just make people feel seen, heard, treat everybody like somebody, be somebody that does that, that's my biggest thing. And to be able to give a platform to people that otherwise wouldn't have a platform or wouldn't feel like speaking out on something. You even speaking on the hard parts of it that you've gone through postpartum, That's something that is completely way underspoken about. You know, people talk about the beauty of pregnancy and having a child and whatnot. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that then you're scared. Like for me, I was terrified. I remember waking up dripping in sweat, like multiple times a night, just to be like, is he breathing? Because of one incident that we had in the hospital, like the day he was born, where I was like, he's choking, like, and I like just grabbing him and just like doing it. And the nurse was like, good job, Mom, good job.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you're like, yeah, good job, Mom. Now here I am and I'm being sent home with this kid.
Oh.
I have to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
I'm scared of myself.
Yeah.
I can barely walk.
Yeah.
Like there's just so
Your
much
body
going
just
on.
went to war.
Yes.
And
yes.
then and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like a 8 pounds whatever, you know,
little beautiful
little
thing.
yes,
Yeah.
that I love more
So
than life itself. I would give my life for it. And also I didn't go to school for this.
Right.
There were like what
There's-
how do we just get to so you want me to just put him in my car and take him home?
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Oh my gosh, I was crying driving home. Like my husband's driving us home, and I remember him being like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay.
Can
Everything's
we go
okay."
back to the
I'm
hospital?
scared.
Because at least they had a pulse
A
ox.
pulse ox, literally. There's monitors. It'll beep something.
Totally.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I remember
Yes.
leaving. You know, we were so excited, especially after the first heart surgery, because that was the longest
sure.
run of a stay in the hospital.
How long were you there for?
A month the first time.
Okay.
And we were so excited. There was half of me that I was like, I cannot wait. What a graduation day for him. And then the other part of me that was like, you know, he was on oxygen for 8 months. I had this giant oxygen tank I had to navigate. And then when I traveled with him, I had a backpack oxygen tank I had to navigate. And I just remember getting home, collapsing into my husband's arms in tears because
Now what?
it's like I didn't know we would be able to get there. I didn't know I'd be able to get him home.
That's
like,
true.
That was just like, we did it. I did it.
Yeah.
I got him home. And so the emotion of that, and then staring down the barrel of he's got this incision, all the stitches, he's got his oxygen, looking at him and going, okay, now I have to keep him alive, and I don't have the monitors, and I don't have the beeps telling me if he's breathing okay, or if his heart's beating okay, or if anything else is going on internally. And it is such a scare. I crawled into bed. He was at the bedside. And of course, I would wake up and feed him, but I did not get out of bed. Yeah. And my husband was terrified. He was like, is she going to go back into postpartum? What is going to happen? My sister, who had flown into town, she crawled in bed with me. And I just couldn't stop crying. And she was like, I got to go back to Georgia. Oh. And she's like, I know you've had your big girl pants on for some time now, but you're just going to have to keep those big girl pants on because you got to take care of this baby. Yeah. And nobody's going to be able to take care of this baby better than you.
That's true.
So you're going to have to get up out of bed, keep those big girl pants on, and you can do this. I know you can do this. Yeah. And that's what I did. Like,
you have no other option.
You have no other option. And so, but my heart goes out to like every mom and every woman out there that's in a caregiving situation, because there's scary moments, but man, you're so brave. Yes. You're so brave, the courage it takes to do that. Oh my gosh.
No, totally. I love that we've been able to get deep and whatnot. I don't
know any other way. I'm a small talk survivor.
Oh my gosh, yes. I hate it all. But I do want to touch on the fun things.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So first off, it's your season right now. Hallmark has...
It's our Olympics.
Yes. So what do we have coming up soon?
So my Christmas movie for the year is a really special one. It's called A Grand Ole Opry Christmas, and it is one of our tentpole movies, a collaboration that we are doing with the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. And,
Love it there. It's so beautiful.
Oh,
so beautiful.
It is such a magical place. Anybody out there, if you're going to Nashville, Tennessee, you have got to go to the Grand Ole Opry, do the backstage tour. Yeah. I grew up as a little girl in the Deep South, driving around with my dad, him taking me to my vocal lessons and dance lessons and listening to the Opry, and all of these country music artists and my dad saying, you know, if you work hard enough, maybe one day you can get up on that stage. And me saying, Daddy, that stage is, you know, that's for Dolly and for Reba and Vince Gill and
Goodness, yeah.
you know, that's not for me. And one of the places that we had always talked about going, which we never got to before he got sick and passed, was the Opry.
Oh.
And so professionally, this was a dream come true. And personally, it meant everything to me to be able to be in that building, to stand on that stage. I just felt like my dad was with me. I know he's always with me, but my gosh, did he show up and show off for this movie. And also the whole premise of the movie is about a woman that had a dream of being a singer-songwriter. And because life, she just had a lot of hits. It took her out, took her down, never happened. And via the magic of the Opry, the magic of Christmas, she goes back in time to 1995 when her dad was alive.
Okay.
And her dad was a very, very famous singer-songwriter. And through being back in his life, she is given the courage and the hope that maybe she can go back to the present day and not give up on her own dream. And so when I tell you it touched me in every single place inside of me, I will be forever grateful to Darren Abbott at Hallmark for gifting me with the opportunity to be a part of this movie.
So will we get to see you on that stage singing and performing?
You will get to see me on the stage.
Goodness, how exciting.
It's really exciting.
Does that take you back to your performance days, your girl group and everything? Does it take you back
You know,
to
it is the first time that I've sung, and you know, they shifted the story a little bit to make me more of a songwriter because we got Brad Paisley to come in and do the big song at the end of the movie, and when Brad Paisley says yes, you like kind of move out of the way a little bit.
Okay,
but I did get to sing a little bit with the character who plays my dad, and it was the first time that I had like stepped back into that, you know, from my early 20s, my girl band days. And it was so lovely. And it connected me even more to my dad because he was so sad when I walked away from music because he really, man, music was our love language. And so being able to do that and feeling him going, okay, I get it. Yeah, I will. I won't stop singing. I promise you. And I won't. Like, even after doing this movie, I'm continuing with my voice lessons. I'm looking to do something on Broadway and step back into that world that I thought I had kind of walked away from. But I took a pause, and it's been really, really like heartwarming to step back into it.
I'm so excited for you in this
you.
role and just what's to come with all of that. That's amazing.
You.
You're very welcome. How has it been? Did you ever expect, like, as a Mouseketeer, that this is like, I'm going to do the acting thing? Did you think you were going to do music? What was it? Because you were with the greats. Like, you are one of the greats on that show with Christina, Justin, Brittany, like Ryan.
Can you even, I mean, my class, like, come on, it's an embarrassment of riches to be in a class like those 7 of us that were the new ones that came in the last couple seasons. Justin, Brittany, Christina, Ryan Gosling, like, I just, TJ Fantini, Mark Lynch, all such incredibly talented people. And I really didn't know. I thought I really just wanted to do singing and dancing, and that was what got me into that show. And then after we did the first season, they added something that was like a little teen soapy drama.
Okay.
And they asked me to be a part of it. And it was the first time that I did, like, not sketch comedy or commercials or fun things like that. I did like acting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait.
I've got the bug. What is this feeling?
I really love this. And it kind of makes sense. The movies I loved were Sound of Music, Singing in the Rain. They were Funny Girl. They were all triple threats. They did all of the things.
Yep.
And I think for me, they all bring me joy. They all light me up. I am so grateful for the Mickey Mouse Club and opportunity to get to really, it's like Juilliard for kids.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, learn anything I could have possibly have wanted to do and have an education in that with some of the best teachers in the world.
Absolutely.
And it was just such a fun show to be a part of. And they let us be kids too.
That's
I can't say
great.
enough
Oh my
about
gosh,
it.
yeah.
It was an incredible experience.
Do you still have relationships with any of the cast members?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
do, which is so fun. I mean, I get Justin is my brother, you know,
Love that.
we've been besties, like literally like my brother, and our families are so close, and our two kids are our oldest are best friends, and that's so
That's
fun. And
awesome.
we get to like spend vacations together, and
That's great.
it's amazing. He's such an incredible human, and obviously Jess is like, you know, she is the best. You don't get any better than Jessie Biel. And then also Tony Luca and Dale and Rona and Jen McGill and Lindsay Alley. Oh my gosh, if you get a chance to see Lindsay Alley's one-woman show, she is just a force. She's so funny and gifted. You know, we've been able to keep in touch.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Not many people can say that, one, they were a part of that.
No, yeah.
And then to be able to carry out those friendships and those relationships and now have families and
Yeah.
grow up with each other, like, that's amazing.
It's amazing. It truly, truly is, because we also, you know, there's something special about knowing each other before, like, you became a known person.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, you guys have that in common. And then you have this big blow up moment in common where it's like, okay, how do we deal with all of this?
Yeah, but you also, yeah, exactly. So for us, it's like, oh no, we're just the two kids that like, we're super
still-
excited to get on Mickey Mouse Club and be like, oh my gosh, can you believe this is happening?
Yeah.
You know, you're still that person to each other. And there's something so like pure about that.
To wrap us all up, I wanted to mention I've mentioned at the very beginning, but jewelry. You have a very special.
Thank you. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I'm always thinking, I'm like, what didn't I say that
No,
I need
I
to say?
gotcha.
Yes. So, you know, I am the co-chair of Children's Hospital Los Angeles. In honor of 125 years of this hospital, we are launching our largest fundraising initiative to date. We really, really, really will need it to keep the doors of our Children's Hospital open with everything that's going on in our country right now. And part of me, not just fundraising for it, but what more can I do? What else can I do?
Yeah.
And also, how can I support local business and women? I did a shopping event last year at my house.
Okay.
I had these incredible female entrepreneurs that came with their products, and I met these girls that are at Rain Jewelry.
Okay.
They're incredible, Carrie and Taylor. And I was looking at their jewelry, and they were telling me that they've been going to the hospital and gifting nurses with their jewelry for years. So they had a heart for giving back to this place, and I thought, this is what we're going to do. It's the first of many collaborations with female entrepreneurs. It's called Small Business, Big Heart. And so what the goal is to shine a light on local business, on small business, so we can support them, especially women. And then the proceeds are going to go directly to Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So it's community supporting community. And the bracelet is so sweet. It's got a little heart, and it's
So
this
pretty.
paper clip chain. It's affordable. The product is really well made, and you can buy it for your daughter. You can buy it for your niece, your mother, your sister, your wife. Christmas, the holidays are
what I was
coming
gonna say.
up.
It's
It's
the
a
perfect
perfect
holiday
gift. The price point is excellent, so you can shop with the understanding that you are also doing good for your community. And what I'm trying to create is essentially a website that's like Goop, but
Okay.
for philanthropy,
Oh my
where
gosh.
you can go on there and everything that you shop for, it is giving something back philanthropically.
You're shopping with a purpose.
That's right.
Purchase with a purpose.
That's right.
There we go. Nikki, where can people connect with you and stay connected with you on everything, on socials?
Well, if you want to follow me on socials and also buy the Benny bracelet, it's named after my son Bennett. We
the
call him
heart.
Benny. You can go follow me on Instagram at Nikki DeLoach that's on Instagram. And I just started getting active on my TikTok.
Okay.
Before I was like, I don't know what to do with this
Yes.
thing, but I just figured out what I'm going to do on my TikTok. And it's every
Cute.
day I'm just finding something that brings me joy and encouraging people to do that because life is hard enough. We got to fight for that joy.
Ain't that the
So
truth?
follow me
Yes.
on TikTok, Nikki DeLoach. And please go buy the Benny bracelet.
We are excited to continue watching you on our screens and seeing all the great work that you're doing in the community. So thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Yeah, and thanks for being here today.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Thank you. To everyone listening, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and thank you for being a part of this space. Remember to be somebody who makes everybody feel like somebody. And if this episode moved you, inspired you, or made you feel just a little bit more human, share it with someone else. And connect with me on all socials at Ileana Capellan or at IC Connections Pod. IC Connections is available everywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. This episode was recorded in the lovely Buzz Studios. Thanks for making this possible, and make sure to check out all of their work on all of our social media platforms. Until next time, let's keep connecting. Thanks for listening to IC Connections.